We're doing it.
Yay!
Welcome, everybody. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. Can you guys believe it? Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fine weekend of the Betsy Freeman Booking Advice Panel. And this week, the theme is so appropriately titled Holidays, Thanksgiving from a Distance, from Far Away. So, I want to welcome all the panelists. And I want these ladies, these talented, incredible ladies, to take the time to introduce themselves, speak about what they do, their talent, and where they're speaking from. So let's start off with you, Christin. Tell us who you are and where you're joining us from.
I am actually really grateful that we're live because I didn't know for a second there. But we're really live. So yes, my name is Christin Jezak, and I do things. Like sometimes I make the Zoom work on Facebook, sometimes, and I think it's happening right now. I'm also an actress, and as I said and mentioned last week, I try to be funny, even in weird situations such as this moment. And I also, I got my comedy partner. She's here today. I feel like maybe I should pass the mic. Pass in the mic. Pass in the mic.
Thank you for that. I am the other half of Unexpected Crowns. And I'm Karah, Britton. That's my name. And I'm an actress as well. And I do my attempts to be funny as well. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. This is my first time doing this.
Awesome. And Sarah, tell us about you, what you do, and where you're joining us from.
Hi, I'm Sarah Lightman, and I am currently in my boyfriend's studio because I'm helping dog sit a dog, but I'm being bad because the dog is actually in the house. There's been a lot of squirrels out, and that's the only time when she barks. So I didn't want any distractions for this. But so I'm a singer-songwriter, recording artist, Los Angeles based, and think that's it. So yeah.
Perfection. So ladies, what do you say? Let's just dig in, right? Let's
Yeah.
just do this.
Do
Okay.
it.
So question number one, I just can't stop focusing on the negative stuff, my financial problems, health problems, and my friends and my family and friends, and the political mess here in the US. Am I supposed to be grateful? And am I supposed to try to enjoy Thanksgiving? Christin, let's start with you to answer that question.
That's such an interesting question, because the question is, am I supposed to? Like, is there a rule? Well, first of all and foremost, there are no rules. However, personally, if I had a choice between being upset and bitter and just sitting in it, or maybe eating some turkey and putting a good face on, I think I'm gonna go with the turkey and the good face, because I think I'm gonna be happier. So the world can be exploding around me, and I just, blissfully eat my turkey and go into a tryptophan sleep. I mean, that sounds like the way to go. I mean, really, if I'm really thinking about it, the options here: tryptophan sleep with the big pants, and you got to make sure you unbutton them, because it's really important, because you need space. You need space after the turkey. But in all seriousness, no, I mean, like I said, there's no rules to this. But I think, like I said last week, I think in all situations we can always find something to be grateful for, even if it's just for the fact that we live in a country where we can eat turkey in big girl pants and unbutton them, and nobody needs to know.
This is very true.
Karah, what are your thoughts? Popcorn to you, right?
Well, I understand this question, because those are all valid feelings. I know it's been a hard year for everyone. So I just always think of the saddest Thanksgiving I had, which I don't know if this story is going to help this question, but I remember it was when I first moved to LA and I didn't know anyone. So I went to a Coco's by myself, and I remember eating a steak dinner and just kind of crying, listening to sad love songs. And I told myself after that, I'm never going to have a Thanksgiving like that by myself, and And I know this year's tough because a lot of people have to have Thanksgiving by themselves. So my whole thought is kind of with Christin, just, you know, look back on the great things that have happened for you and things that you have, you know, like I'm happy to still be able to live here and have a roof over my head and just it's almost like right now is a good time to focus on the little things that you have.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really grateful for. So I'm happy I still have my health. Thank goodness. Every day I can wake up without hacking up a lung is great, I think. So yeah, it's a little thing. It's the little things. That's what it's about.
Sarah, any thoughts?
I feel like they pretty much covered it. I will say, okay, the one upside is like if you're really having a hard time, because we can't really be, or a lot of us, or at least I can't be like close to my family. And like, let's say like we were really divided or something, you're Zooming. So you could just be like, oh, I'm sorry, guys, my connection's not working. Gotta go. Like if it gets really bad. So like be thankful for Zoom and Skype and FaceTime because I think that's a legit excuse to, you know, utilize that failing if things turn south. So be grateful for that. But there's no supposed to grateful anything. But recognizing that it's important to find what you can be grateful for because it helps make the day a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, ladies, like Karah, as you were responding and talking about the little things, it made me think of like, you know what I mean? Sometimes just those holiday movies that could just like, you know, cheer you up, you know, and just get you laughing or give you that warm, cozy holiday feel. So that's the next question. What are the best Thanksgiving themed movies to watch? And I'm going to start with you, Karah. What would you suggest?
I'm so glad you started with me because I have a visual aid.
Oh.
I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as a Thanksgiving movie. So that is my go-to. I also love The Family Stone, which is a great one as well. But definitely this is what I plan watching this year. So that's my favorite, like especially for around Thanksgiving movies.
Christin, how about you? Anything else to add to the list?
Well, I was gonna say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh.
No, actually, this is so funny. Last year, one of the best Thanksgivings I probably ever had. I haven't been home for Thanksgiving, by the way, in years because I just can't. It's just too difficult to be able to afford to go home at both like Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know, so I haven't been able to go home in years. But last year in particular, I had two girlfriends who had never, ever, 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 ever seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh.
And it is the perfect Thanksgiving movie because they are trying to get home for Thanksgiving. Like that's the whole point, to get home for Thanksgiving. So it was just so wonderful to see them watching it for the first time. And like the fact that they had never like encountered this movie, it was so special. It really was. It was like one of the greatest like Thanksgivings we had ever had. We did like a PJ party, you know, we had like these turkey, they're the best. I don't know if Trader Joe's still has them, but they're like the everlasting gobstoppers of meatballs. Like literally the whole Thanksgiving dinner. There is turkey, there is cranberries, there is stuffing, there's all the things in the meatball.
What? In a meatball though, really?
Yeah, Trader Joe's Thanksgiving
That's
meatballs.
Amazing.
So we had those meatballs, we watched the movie, and it was magical. It's all I have to say. It's such a great movie. The best ever. Maybe a second, and I haven't watched it in a long time, would be the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving movie.
Oh, yes.
That's a good suggestion. Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh, I love it. Sarah, any thoughts? Anything else to add to the Thanksgiving movie list?
I have a confession. I've never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
This year.
But maybe this year I'll watch it.
This year.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to search. I'll find it somewhere. It's funny. I remember seeing it played on repeat like around this time of year on ABC Family back when I had cable, when I had time or money, or my parents had it and I mooched off them. But
Yes.
But like, I was like, oh, I don't get why this keeps playing. It must be pretty important. Never really watched it, but yeah, maybe this year. I don't know if I have Thanksgiving movies because Thanksgiving Day for me traditionally, I'm from the East Coast, and usually, I'd wake up early and watch the parade, and it was like really boring, but I would like it. I don't know why. It's like parts of it are really boring, like where they comment about things you don't know what they're talking about when you're a little kid. You're just like, I don't know, just bring back the musicals. That's what I would watch for. Like, I would like the musicals and the recording artists going blind afloat, and I would like seeing the dancers. I would always get tired of the marching bands though, because they all kind of sounded the same after a while.
True.
But it's the principle. It's not even about how boring or entertaining. It's the principle and tradition. So I used to watch that, which is like 3-4 hours long with commercials. And then after that, we would basically get ready and then go to New York. Or if I was with my grandparents, I would start helping my grandmother like prep hors d'oeuvres or whatever. So there wasn't like a whole lot of time to watch movies, but I would say one that comes to mind that's good for this holiday time of year is When Harry Met Sally, because like they go on the holidays.
I love that movie.
And like he's like pecan pie. Like,
oh yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, like already as it is, there's so many things that have been meant, like pecan pie, like your own little mini hors d'oeuvres, some hot cocoa, maybe getting one of those like Trader Joe's like meatballs or vegan meatballs, whatever you want, and then like a list of great movies. There's so many ways to bring on the warmth and the happy this year for Thanksgiving, and maybe even creating your own little mini tradition. So I love, again, I'm gonna piggyback on what Karah said, like thinking about the small things and turning them into something amazing. The next question, and I'm gonna bounce this question at Christin.
Oh.
How do you stay positive and hopeful when broke and unemployed?
Oh, welcome to the artist life.
Yeah, I know this very well.
We all do. We all know this. And I my story that I shared last week about living with the cockroaches and dancing in the apartment and singing anyways. And that's what you have to do. Like I said, unless it's like, it's clinical and you have a medical reason for depression, which you can. I'm not ruling that out. But otherwise, we can choose. We can, even in the worst of circumstances. It is the way, like I mentioned last week, that people have survived the worst of situations, is sometimes by singing. You have to bring the hope. Okay. One of my favorite movies. We're on a movie tangent. I decided that we're back. I decided that we're back. Okay, so one of the funniest things about the restrictions in California, or like the first thing that popped into my mind when there was this whole like, there cannot be any singing. There will be no singing for the holidays. We don't do that here. The first thing I thought of was the Grinch. The Grinch who stole Christmas. And I was like, that's it. We're all going to be like the Who's in Whoville. There's going to be no tree.
Oh my gosh.
And there's just going to be that bright light in the middle. And we're not even going to be holding hands like the Who's in singing, because we can't because of COVID. So we'll just be kind of like standing there. I want to do the visual, but I can't because there's not enough room in the Zoom. But our arms will be out and we'll be 6 feet apart and far enough away where no spit can get on anyone when we sing. Oh it'll be a magical moment because Governor Newsom can't take away Thanksgiving. Done.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be like the Grinch and like fake sing because I don't know the lyrics. That's what I'll do. When he's all joyful, la, 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 doesn't know the lyrics. That's me.
Dahu Doris. Clearly those are real words, right? Dahu Doris? Dahu Doris. Isn't that what they sing? I don't know. Something like that.
I don't remember what they sing.
Who language?
Oh, Sarah or Karah, anything else you want to add to this? I can ask the question again. How do you stay positive and hopeful while broke and unemployed?
Go ahead, Sarah.
It's so funny that this question came up because at the beginning of the pandemic, when everyone was complaining about it, I was like, oh, like, just like you said, oh, we're artists. Like, I was like, oh, well, I've already done this like for a couple years now. So not that I was getting to a place where I wasn't broke per se, but it was still, I still had to like live below my means. So
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I was built for whatever this is, even though I don't want to go through it. Like, I was built for this pandemic because you have to just sacrifice everything in order to just like eat and pay your bills, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I was like, so to me, I was like, all right, game on, I guess. So that was like one thing of staying positive. But like too, another thing to realize is like it does feel like forever and it's like longer than comfortable, but it like will pass. And that is what is like, even when it comes up, to just remember that this is a time that is a long ass time, longer than you want it to be, but it's only a time, and that will change. Is there an animal? Oh, it's a squirrel. I know I'm getting distracted by the squirrel, but it was sitting in a way where I was like, what animal is that? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so just keeping in mind that even though it feels like forever because it's a year or a couple years, that doesn't mean that that's the way that it has to be forever, and that you get to choose how you want it to be by kind of just readjusting your perspective of what that means in the time, in the moment. And like, if anything, I think it's inspiring because for me, it's kind of woken me up going, oh, I know when I'm done with this, I don't want to be the artist living below their means. I want to set up goals that are achievable to not. So for me, it's been like hard but inspiring, even though part of me is like, I can't focus on that and it's laughable. Like, so that's what I have to say about it.
Karah, you're going to say something.
I have taken this time because I've been unemployed. In fact, I just got a job and then had to become unemployed again. So I definitely know how this feels, with kind of the fear of being like unemployed and stressed and what to do at home. I did come across this great, I guess it's a meme someone created, but I wanted to share it because I agree with it completely during these times. But it says, please keep drawing, please keep writing, please keep voice acting, filming, animating. Please keep doing the creative things that you love. You are someone's favorite artist. You are loved and cherished, even when things are loud or quiet. You are someone's favorite. And that really spoke to me because if anything I've accomplished during this time is stuff that I had been wanting to work on creatively for a long time, and I had put it aside because I was busy with my job, trying to keep a roof over my head and everything else. So I think I kind of agree with Sarah. There is a positive through this, that you can kind of learn how you're going to change your life and go about it differently when it's all over, that I like.
Ladies, I love it. And I just wanted to add to this, like I saw this written by a speaker somewhere that our generation, we will not be defined by COVID. You know, this is like obviously like something so huge in the present that we're dealing with, but it's going to pass. We will not be defined by this. And just like, you know, humanity overcame, you know, the Black/bubonic plague. They overcame the Spanish flu. And look at where we are with technology and advances. If they overcame that in history, we will overcome this. And I also truly do believe that it's always in the most harrowing times or times of changes where the best music and the best art has come. So it's like, I love what you guys said about perspective. We have to use this time to like, you know, see it as like a blessing, the beauty that's coming out of the madness, the silver lining, and take this time to like, not just flip perspective, but use this time to like be inspired to create like great stories, great scripts, you know what I mean? Great scenes, great songs, like great paintings, great dances. So I think like out of this is going to come like some phenomenal art in every form. And I don't know about you ladies, but I'm freaking excited. So speaking about singing and feeling like singing is, you know, getting, you know, challenged in this time, I'm going to start this question off with Sarah, singer-songwriter. So the question is, how do we celebrate the holidays with music if we can't sing together? Zoom doesn't seem to be working well. You know, I miss my choir concerts and caroling and so on and so forth. So Sarah, any suggestions for that question?
That's a great question. Yeah, because if you're singing alone, it's way easier. My friend Auburn does the stream on Wednesdays. This week I'm doing it. This isn't an advertisement, but if you guys want to come by, she does this thing where she loops like a certain kind of software site and then goes live on Facebook, and we're both able to sing at the same time. I don't know how it would work with a choir, but yeah, so it's like Wednesday on Auburn's page. I'll post it in the comments after this, but you probably already saw it if you're rewatching. But yeah, so I've seen that done. There's a couple different programs where I've seen people make it work. It's just a matter of trying things. The other thing that they did, I know they did this with Saturday Night Live and a couple other choirs, is sending in your choir part beforehand, and then they edit it all together, and then that works. I know you're not singing live in that way, but when you play it back on a live watching party, that magic is still there. So that's an option. The other thing is, so since I don't have any like money to really get gifts or anything, I decided I'm gonna learn a song for like people that are close to me for Christmas and like record it and send it to them. Nothing like crazy high-end recording, just like, and then it's kind of like a mixtape, you know, and then you just give it to those people and then they can listen to it either if you're Zooming with them while you're Zooming with them, or just in general, and then they can have it forever and ever. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm learning like 2 songs and then Hallelujah, which I already know. So, because my boyfriend's grandmother really likes Hallelujah, and I'm Jewish, so like my family does Hanukkah, but I like celebrating Christmas. My mom like used to not really be supportive of it, but I'm like, why not? So yeah, so I do Christmas usually with them. I don't know if it'll be in person. I'm not even going to their Thanksgiving party. There's just too many people going, and I'm being safe. So but they like Hallelujah, so I was just thinking we could record it in the studio right here that I'm in, and then we'll just give it to them as a thing. So that's another option, those couple, but it is definitely challenging. I know a lot of people will live stream on different platforms, and like if you're a streamer, you could raid each other's channels if you're on like Twitch, and then that way you're like all kind of singing in a way. But that's my best advice.
Britton, any thoughts? Or Karah, who wants to? Of course, Christin, sounds like you're ready. Go for it.
I got an idea. Okay. All right. I think we should sing. If you're all game, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Okay. It has to be a song that we all know. Okay. And basically, we sing a line and then it passes to the next person. Here's a question. Can we see, like in my lineup, it goes Sarah, me, and then underneath that, Karah and Flo. Is that what you guys are seeing?
You're to my right, and then Sarah's below me, and then Flo.
Okay, all right, okay, all right. Well, we need to just come up with an order. Okay, I always pass to Karah. Okay, so I'm always going to pass to Karah. I'm going to sing a line and then Karah's going to sing it. And then once Karah sings, she's going to always pass to Sarah, and Sarah's always going to pass to Flo, and then it goes back to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, are we going to try right now?
Okay, yeah. So, but we need a song that we all know the lyrics. So basically you sing a line and it gets passed to the next person. I'm really excited about this. I am so game. We have never, I bet you Betsy has never had a musical panel. And
no, probably not. So which song are we going to go for, ladies?
Well, that's the question. What do we all know?
I could do Silent Night. I don't know all the verses though. I just know like the first verse.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all know that? Okay. Yeah. All right. Got it. Okay. So again, way it goes, Christin, Karah, Christin passes to Karah, Karah passes to Sarah, Sarah passes to Flo. Got it? So whenever that person stops singing, you take the next line. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna try line by line. So, all right, ready?
The lyrics. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone just in case.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
idea.
a good
All right,
idea.
I'll wait a minute. I'll wait a minute for the sharing. I will wait a minute for the sharing.
Oh my
You wait,
gosh.
let me know when you're ready. I'm super excited about this, man. Rudolph's coming. He's gonna fly. He's gonna fly on those notes, man.
Are we doing the intro or no intro?
No intro. I don't know the intro.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, that's like naming the seven dwarfs, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen. Okay,
That's
maybe
right.
I do know the intro, but I don't want to risk it. Let's go with what we know.
All right.
Let's do
I'm
it.
ready.
So,
Or maybe
guys,
Sarah should. No, we're not changing the order. We're not changing the order. Okay. Because the other option was Sarah sings the intro, and then I'm like, whoa. We just got this. So it goes me, Karah, Sarah, Flo.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
I'm super excited. All right, everyone
Okay.
ready? Ladies ready? Okay.
yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Had a very shiny nose.
And if you ever saw it,
You would even say it glows.
All of the other reindeer.
Used to laugh and call him names.
they never let poor Rudolph.
Join in any reindeer games.
Then one stormy Christmas
Foggy.
Eve. Foggy! I knew something like that. Then one foggy Christmas Eve.
Santa came to say,
Rudolph, with your nose so bright.
Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
Then how the other reindeer loved him.
as they shouted out with glee.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
You'll go down in history. Bum, 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 bum. So that's the way to, there you go. This is totally a way to do singing. Like, I love it. So this is a way, the other thing I wanted to add, you guys, I don't have it offhand, but there's a lot of live streaming sites that have popped up due to the latency issues. Tons of artists do live stream or webcasts. Google it. It's not coming to mind right now, but there's like at least 4 or 5, like tons of great live streaming, live performance sites that artists are using because of the Zoom latency issue. So singing with a family, with a choir should not be a problem. There's tons of solutions to that question.
Yeah.
And Karah, did you have anything else you want to add?
There's a great app. If you're having problems with Zoom, there's a great app that I use with my sister and a couple friends called Marco Polo. It's free. It's really fun. You can even change your voice to sound like a helium voice. So it's a good time. You want to sing like a chipmunk.
Yes. So holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking about chipmunk and fun, what are tips for maintaining a good sense of humor in life, especially in these times? Karah, let's start with you.
Oh boy. I love to find the humor in even the most stressful situations. Let's see, I'm trying to think. For example, recently, speaking of cockroaches, because Christin had that story last week, I've got one too. I had my whole apartment building had an infestation, and they threw that on us. So we had to leave not once, but twice. So I have 2 cats and a turtle. So I had to leave with all 3 of them. I had no place to go because of COVID. And so I ended up having to hang out with my 2 cats and my turtle in my car at a park for about 4 or 5 hours. So I found the humor in that situation because I felt, I don't know, it just was like an experience in itself, keeping 2 cats and a turtle in a tub. So in my car, I felt like a, I don't know, like a homeless Ace Ventura for about 4 hours, but it worked out. So I think the important thing is being able to laugh through stressful situations as much as you can. I know sometimes it's not possible, but sometimes I think the best thing to do is just laugh at your pain.
Christin, any thoughts?
Oh my gosh, I just your story made me think of another story. At first, my initial reaction is like kind of what I said last week, which is basically like when you're going through it, sometimes it's hard to laugh like in the moment. But then I remembered a moment where I did laugh in the moment. Because sometimes there's just nothing more that you can do. If you don't laugh, you're gonna cry or you're gonna be really pissed. And neither of those are often fun. So and that it's the truth. It's the truth. You know what? Sometimes it is good, even in the situations, to look back at the worst of situations and to have a good laugh about them later. Like maybe even if you're in a bad situation now, because it also reminds you of how like you pulled through, like how you got through the worst of situations. So sometimes to laugh at them later, even if you're in a situation at that moment that could be a bad situation, like I think that could be a good thing. I remember, I'm gonna get all like brainiac now. We're going back to my master's degree years here, my MA program. No, one of my favorite things that I ever learned was so we were going through what the definitions of the different genres, like what makes a drama, what's romanticism, what's comedy. And when we got to comedy, we were reading this criticism, and I happened to go to a Catholic college, so they decided to pull out some Christian criticism. And what it said about the definition of comedy is we can laugh because we know the end. That's why we laugh. Because we know no matter the circumstances are as crappy as it can possibly get, we know that it's going to be a good ending. And basically this Christian criticist said that Christian always has the ability to laugh because we know the end. We know that, obviously in our story, in the Christian story, basically, Jesus rises from the dead. So in all situations, it doesn't matter. We know the ending, so we can laugh. And I think that's part of it. I think that's why, why in the circumstances, like I remember one time I showed up at my friend's house, she closed the door and then realized, oh crap, I locked us out. And she reminds me of this all the time because like I was there and I literally had my sunglasses on and like my flip-flops and like my bag over my arm, and I was like, okay, and just like, how are we going to fix that? And I started problem solving immediately, and it was like, okay, well, is the window open? Yeah, I can get through the window. And the next thing I know, I'm helping my friend like jimmy through the window, but like she laughs about it later. And even in the moment, like there wasn't a moment of fret. And I think possibly too, because it's like we go through so much BS in life. It was just like, all right, let's take this curveball now, which is kind of how 2020 feels. It feels like kind of like you're passing a ball and it's like, all right, this is coming at me now. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that. But in that situation, it just sometimes when the crap is just piling on and it feels like, well, it's one more thing of crap, like it doesn't become as much of a big deal anymore. It becomes funny. It was funny. That moment was funny because it was just like, all right, this is what we're doing now. We're going to figure out how to get into your apartment. Got it. Check.
That's like this one time I got my car stuck on the beach because I had driven on what I thought was just part of a little side road, and it was part of the beach, and I sunk into the sand. I actually ended up taking a picture because it was hilarious, because I was like, of course this would happen to me. And I ended up getting two like really nice guys pulled over, and they had chains on their trucks and pulled my car out of the sand. But it was one of those things, it was just like, this is hilarious, not right now, but it's gonna be really funny later. And it was.
I love it, ladies. Sarah, are there any tips or thoughts that come to your mind with this question? Do you want me to read it again?
Yeah.
What are tips for maintaining a good sense of humor, especially in life, especially in times like these?
Okay. I think we had a similar question last week, so I'm going to I'll probably repeat what I said, but I'll try to make it more interesting. Yeah, I think the gratitude thing, which we went through, is definitely one of the things. Finding gratitude when like replacing those moments where you want to look to your dark thoughts with substituting them with great gratitude, I think is helpful. having a routine is daunting, but has helped me. I went from like COVID and going like, okay, I guess I can't really do much right now, of like not really having much of a routine, and then like sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into that, and then realizing that, okay, that's not really helping me anymore. And then, slowly just doing things for myself that would kind of keep me on track, I guess, in a way. It's not to distract you, but it's just to remind you of, that you still have a day and you still have time that you can utilize to benefit you, even though there's not as much as you'd like to do right now. So I try to do yoga every day in the morning with like YouTube videos. They're like 20 minutes long. There's all different lengths and stuff. So I do that. And then I have like a face care regimen. So I like wash my face and moisturize it and make sure to do that twice a day. Even if I don't feel like doing it, I just make myself do it when I brush my teeth. I treat myself to either like a good read, like a good book, or I've been playing Animal Crossing. It's a lot of fun. If anyone plays, you can let me know and you can visit my island one day. And it's just like a place to be creative. And if you really need human connection, there's always live streams, and there's like a lot of vlogs and stuff. So there's always things that you can do to help yourself feel a little bit less disconnected and dreary of the times. It won't make it go away, but it will help you cope.
So Sarah, I also remember you saying that you're making your own like mixtape and songs for family members. There's a question that says, some of my family members only want to give handmade gifts or skip gift giving altogether this year.
Okay.
But I like shopping, and it doesn't feel like the holidays to me if I can't wrap gifts and ship them to family. How do we resolve this so that everyone is happy? Handmade gifts versus shopping combination, or?
That's hard. If it's being agreed as a group not to do it, maybe like do it in private. Or just like on the day of, like, I insist I want to give you something. I'm not really shopping for gifts this year, but I mean, like, I wish I was, but I also wouldn't know what to get. It's just like, because my mind just isn't there. So yeah, so I would say, like, if someone's really adamant about it, just be really discreet, or talk to the person beforehand, like, hey, I had already planned on getting this for you, like, you can spin it that way. Also, like, I recently found this out that you can, with the wrapping, they're actually wrapping presents for you on Amazon. A friend sent me one, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that they did this. And they wrap it and everything. So you kind of you don't get to wrap it yourself, but you get to choose it. Or if you're shipping someone a gift, you get to put it in a box when you ship it out. That's also, they also do those e-cards where you can send an e-card, just a card that says, like, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, depending on what is going on. My birthday's in December, so I get to deal with all three. So I'm very curious as to what that's gonna look like this year. I know when I FaceTimed with my family this morning, my mom was like, your brother just mailed out your Hanukkah gifts for you. I was like, oh, okay. like I'm thinking about that, but like, thank you. Like, and then, so now my mind is wondering, are they going to be like wrapped like a box in a box in a box, or is it just going to be like a box with stuff? Like, that's just like, so it's just, it makes it awkward, but it's also a unique scenario where we get to be a little more creative, and it'll be extra memorable because it's not the norm. So
Love the way you put that. Memorable and not the norm. So special. I like that.
Yeah, it'll be like, remember that time when you sent me this thing during the pandemic and the box was like falling apart, even though you wrote fragile on it? Good time.
Exactly, right? Karah, what are your thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I've been trying to think what I'm going to do with my family, because I usually go and do send out things. I had an issue with an order for just a pair of jeans from Old Navy the other day. I never received them. So I'm a little paranoid about the postal like situation. So I think I've kind of concluded that I'm mostly going to get my family gift cards. So that's an option if you're okay with getting. Some people, I know my grandmother used to think that gift cards were an insult, but I think they're a great gift. I love gift cards. So that's one option.
I just had this thought going off of what you said. What if someone like Instacarted or Postmated someone just like, because you could get gift cards from like any store.
Right. You
Smart,
could.
right? That's smart.
Yeah.
Christin, what are your thoughts with this? Do you have anything you want to add to this?
Yeah. So I think it's really difficult because unfortunately in this culture, there has become a lot of shame around gift giving. And it's shame, sometimes it's on the part of the person who's giving because they feel shameful upon what they can afford to give. And sometimes it's shame on the part of the receiver because they feel like maybe like they didn't really care about me because they got me X, Y, and Z. It's really, it's really become kind of awful. So I would really love it if people could throw that behavior away. That's where I want to start with this because I don't think it's fair or right. I don't think we have a right to put a value or a price tag on someone's gift. I have been through seasons where I haven't been able to afford to give. I am a gift giver by nature, by the way. It is one of my favorite things in the world to give gifts and to think about it and like really put thought and be like, this is for you, you know, and really like, you know, like I said, just pray about, think about it. And I love giving gifts. It gets me so excited. Even more so than even giving gifts sometimes. I mean, receiving gifts. That's what I meant. I like giving gifts. I love giving gifts, but often I don't have that kind of money. I don't have that kind of ability, but I find unique and creative ways to give. And what I've noticed is those who are closest to me and really care about me understand.
Yes.
And I think that's important. And I think, and I'm going to say this with grace and a grain of salt, because we don't choose our family members. We don't choose the people in our circles, but I think handle everyone like the fragile box. Like the fragile gift box, handle everyone like that, meaning that if somebody responds to you in a way that's negative because you decided to make gifts this year, like just give them a grain of salt. Just know everyone's under a lot of pressure this year. People are feeling a lot of feelings. Just take everyone with a grain of salt. It's not worth having a grudge for 50 million years because they crocheted you a cat litter scooper. I don't know. try to think of something.
I would love one of those. What?
It might be a terrible idea because anything crocheted, picking cat poop out with.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Yeah.
But you get where I'm going with this. You get where I'm going with this. Be grateful. Be grateful, understand, be compassionate. That is a gift in and of itself, by the way. Compassion. Compassion is a gift in and of itself. To love someone regardless, to say, you know what? I normally have high standards with the gifts that I receive, but this year I understand. I know where they are. So we're not going to do that this year. Could be that. Could be that. Or like I said, it could be like, oh gosh, she was in a mood. I gave her the gift. She didn't like it. Just take a deep breath, say she didn't like it, maybe laugh at it, maybe say that's so funny that she's like that.
Bringing back that humor thing. Yep.
Yeah, the humor thing. Back to that humor thing. Isn't she a great character? That.
You know what? I'm going to add in 2 cents this, you guys. I think at the end of the day, I love what all of you ladies said. I love what all you ladies said. And I feel at the end of the day, it should come from the heart. So if someone loves, I think, and it's communication. I think family or friends who are giving to each other, it should be like, what do you love doing when it comes to giving? If you're pouring out from your heart, painting something for me, knitting or drawing or writing something, do it. If you love to shop and it just makes you like, it should come from the heart no matter what, right? And I've heard sometimes some people, have gotten like, jewelry or wads of money, and it's like, it wasn't really thought of. So even if it's like a big, fancy schmancy gift, they're like, versus like, a painted rock from a kid who like, he spent hours painting that, right? So it's just, at the end of the day, it should be from the heart, right? So I think from my perspective, it's communication and basically talking to family. Maybe it's a compromise. Maybe some of us do handmade, some of us buy, but just understand it's from the heart. And that's the most important thing that counts. And especially if that brings that person joy in giving, then let's just enjoy that. That's my favorite part about Christmas, the generosity and the holidays, just family, hanging out, friends, generosity, the love and warmth, and Thanksgiving. Let's not take that away. Let's enjoy that at the end of the day, right? Okay, so next question, and I'm going to start with you, Christin. When I look at 2021, everything is a giant question mark. It seems like I'm just waiting for another disaster to happen, and then I'll have to change my whole life all over again in response to it. How can I be proactive about creating a good life for the future when I don't know anything for sure?
Okay. Sorry. The question in and of itself is kind of funny. That's it. You got to embrace the unknown. That's the story of life. The truth of the matter is, as comfortable as you might be, pandemic or no pandemic, life can just be. Life can just happen. You can have a job, the next day you don't, whether there's a pandemic or you don't. And that's just the way it is. It's just, I don't mean it in a rude way. I just mean it like, it's what's best is if you can just take it with open arms, take it, with a grain of salt, like it's a mindset, right? Because even the story that I told you earlier about showing up at my friend's house and she got locked out when she closed the door. The thing was, she was probably more panicked than I was because it was her door, but because of the way that I reacted, believe it or not, in that situation, she laughed and it became fun. It became fun. The problem became fun rather than a problem. All of a sudden we were working together, it was teamwork, and it was funny. It was like, how are we going to figure this out? Attitude is everything. It really, really is. I know sometimes it's hard and sometimes it feels like the situations are bigger than us. And you know what? Sometimes they are. And sometimes we just need a miracle. But you know what? I'm going to say something. Miracles are real and miracles do happen. And they happen in ways sometimes that you don't expect. And they happen in ways in your community with the people that you love, and miracles can take on many, many different forms. But I just want to say that miracles are real. That's what I want to say. And that's a thing of faith or no faith. It's just knowing that in humanity that it is possible, that, good is possible no matter the situation, that we have people around us who love us. And even if we don't, that there is a stranger that could help you, that there is something that, that we're not alone in all of this. Just know that you're not alone, even if you feel like you're alone, even if you live by yourself. There is always the possibility. Just know that a miracle can happen. Know that no matter the situation, like I said, it's mindset. It's a game. It was a game. It was an escape room. All of a sudden we were at an escape room before escape rooms even existed. How do we get in? It's a game. It's all about attitude. And I think that's what I want to say. And miracles are possible.
Love it. Karah, popcorn to you. Any thoughts?
Yes. Well, I like that you used escape rooms because I've been obsessively playing escape room video games. But I can relate to this question in the sense that I know when everything was starting to go down with the pandemic, I literally thought about December 31st, 2019, Karah, and I thought if I could time travel and go back to when I said 2020 is going to be a great year, I would slap myself in the face. But I now don't wish that kind of self-violence, metaphorically. But I think Kristin's right, and it's just, you know, have a good attitude. Maybe this year I won't spend so much money on a nice calendar, just in case, like a planner. I don't really know what I mean by that. But I think just, yeah, I think just having a positive attitude about it, and you know, I just don't want to be Eeyore all the time. You know what I mean? I was Eeyore in middle school. I was Eeyore for quite a while, and I don't want to live life with being in fear and being Eeyore. So I like to think that things are going to get better, you know?
That's good. Sarah, any nuggets you want to add to this?
Sure. Can you repeat the question?
I sure can. When I look at 2021, everything is a giant question mark. It seems like I'm just waiting for another disaster to happen. And then I'll have to change my whole life all over again in response to it. How can I be proactive about creating a good life for the future when I don't know anything for sure?
Here's the thing. Future hasn't happened yet, so you're never gonna know. And that's something that even I struggle with sometimes because of having anxiety. And I have my days where it's really hard, but something that I try to keep in mind is that it's not focusing on what you can't control or what you don't know, but what can you control and what do you want to control that is going to be healthiest for you is a big part of it. Like I said, that thing about my routine. So that's one of those things. Another thing is, you know, talking about it to a therapist. That's always good. And there's nothing shameful about it. I've been in therapy for like 3-ish years now. So it's been fun. Yeah, so a big part of that is just focus on and just, you know, do the best you can from day to day and live your life as fully as you can, even if one day may not be feeling your fullest. It's the best that you could do that day, and that's all you can do, and you just have to let the rest kind of go. So because there are no guarantees. The only guarantee is how you choose to focus on your time while you're here.
I love it. And I'm gonna just piggyback on so many of these great answers, you guys. One of the things I've learned, Ben Affleck, I don't know how long ago this was, probably like more than 5 years ago, but he gave his Academy Award winning speech. And the one thing I remembered is that he said, you know, everybody is gonna fall down. He's like, but it's those who are victorious, you know, those who are successful, you know, are the ones, he's like, it's super easy, who get back up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so simple, but yet profound. So one of the things I learned is that life is going to have, doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter like, you know, what shoes you're in, what like walk of life, every human being is going to go through ups and downs. It's inevitable, right? And so there's going to be like curveballs for everybody. The interesting thing about this year is that, and the kind of cool thing is that we're going through this global pandemic together. It's like nobody, it's not one country, it's not one city. It's like, so it's almost like, and like with humanity, it's like we're bonded because we're going through this together. So nobody's alone, right? Nobody's alone. We're in a unique time in history. It ain't fun, but we're not alone. We're experiencing this together. So it kind of bonds us like closer. And the thing is that, again, there's ups and downs, and like this has happened before in the past and humans got through it, right? So we can do this. We're resilient, we're strong, we can do this. And it's gonna make us stronger. You know what I mean? So we gotta, and the present is a gift. So basically we work with what we've got in the present to prepare for and have good hopes for the future. You know what I mean? So I love what Christin said about attitude. It's like, you know, like, and you know what Karah said about being an Eeyore. We have the choice. We don't need to be an Eeyore or a Debbie Downer. You know what I mean? And it's okay to like feel the emotions because it has been a tough and interesting year, but we have the choice to get back up on our feet and to, you know, to be stronger for this and to use this for our good and to learn things right now to prepare for like an even better future. You know, this is not finest. We've got this, you guys. We got this. Okay. So what do you guys think? Do we have time for one more question?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. So Karah, I'm going to start with you. What do I do when no one seems to have the right kind of comfort or answers that I'm looking for?
What do you do? Well, I think if there's anything I've learned, especially, gosh, the last 4 or 5 years, I've been really working on self-love and self-esteem. It's been my hugest struggle since I was a teenager, and I've really been proactive about it. So I would say if you can't find comfort in family or friends, I say start talking to yourself like a friend that you're looking for, or talk to yourself like someone. I think that's something, and I think that's why actually I handled this whole pandemic and having to stay home by myself so well, because I'm like solid with myself now. And I think just giving yourself love and giving yourself encouragement and having encouraging thoughts. And heck, I used to write little sticky notes and put them on my bathroom mirror of things I like about myself. So I just say, give yourself what you're seeking.
That's beautiful.
It's kind of, yeah.
Sarah, how about you? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Something I've been learning that I struggle with, that I've been especially working on, which is kind of in the same realm of self-love, is that so I have a lot of like safety issues because of growing up in a home that was just kind of chaotic and all over the place and unstable, and my dad was sick and then he died, and then like there was like all this stuff, and like so like when you get to adulthood and then dating and a bunch of people and attracting a bunch of friends that were also not safe for me, and then abandoning, and so like a lot of that kind of came, it's always been there, but it just sort of kind of exploded during the pandemic because you're just forced to sit with yourself. And like I've been like afraid to be alone with my thoughts, and like because of just like everything looks bad when I'm by myself sometimes, and like within relationships with other people, with the world, with being able to trust myself, doubting my decisions, like everything, you name it, you know. So yeah, one thing that I've been learning, I mentioned this last week, is that the answer, it's totally fine to lean on people when you need them, but a lot of the time the answer does need to come from you. Like 80% of the time, I would say. 90 if we're really being like ideal. So like 90% of the time the answer does need to come from you, because one, it's good for your mental health, and it helps you know that you can believe in yourself and support your own safety. But then also like it's important because it helps you get to know yourself too, because like if you just know what people tell you, I've learned this over a long time. If you just know what people tell you, then you never know what you feel and what you know and like what you like and your personality. Like if you don't know yourself, then like there's only like so far you're gonna get in life where you're not really gonna be, you know, happy and secure in your identity. And so the thing that I've been working on is that because like I wasn't intentionally trying to do it, but like you start to kind of unintentionally kind of emotionally drain everyone around you, just going like just give me something, because they don't, it's literally like eating candy. It satisfies you for like a minute, but then you're like, no, I really do need to eat dinner. So I just think of like dinner is like what you find within yourself. So the thing that I've been doing, I'm going to read it again because it is important. It's called rain, like raining, like raining in the sky, but it's not, hasn't have anything to actually do with rain. Let me find it. I keep it on my phone, even though for whatever reason it's not popping up right now. But yeah, so it's called Rain, and it got moved from my phone, so I'm just gonna Google it. Here we go. Okay, so, and I can also post this too on the Facebook chat if you guys want it later. So rain, so R is recognize. So you're going to recognize the emotions of what you're feeling, whatever you're feeling, like the thing that came up, whatever it is, say it to yourself. And we were saying last week how it's important to say it out loud. So say it out loud to yourself after it comes up, and like don't judge it, just notice it, name it, for what it is. Then acknowledge, accept it, allow the feelings. This is the part that I have trouble with, is I accept it to the point where I wallow in it. And it's important to, like, once you feel that and notice that, let yourself feel it where you feel like it's out, and then go to I, which is investigate it. So like, okay, where did this come from? Why is this happening? Where did this thought process, like, where did it start? Is there something from the past? Is there something from my childhood? Earlier in the day, did someone look at me the wrong way? Like, what's causing this thought to come up? So like, whatever comes to mind is right. Don't second guess it. And then N, non-identification or nurturing your thoughts. So it says your painful thoughts, feelings, and sensations are not you. Instead of identifying with them, you can mentally step aside and watch them scroll by like a news feed. So going, okay, I do feel this. It came from that. I identify where it came from. Okay, like, I'm going to be okay. Like, that's basically it. And then they tagged on an S at the end in case it doesn't feel like enough. So it's self-compassion. Like you were saying, the gift of compassion is really important. So self-compassion, and just whatever comes up is correct with that, like when the word comes to mind. So just like, that's what I've been trying to do. So whenever I feel something, I'll talk it through with a friend as well. But that's what I've been doing. So that's my 2 cents.
And do you want me to read the question one more time? Christin, your thoughts. Well, we'll end up with your thoughts. What do I do when no one seems to have the right kind of comfort or answers that I am looking for?
Okay, so I'm going to answer really, really quick because I know we don't have much time, but I also just want to take a moment and just say that what I heard the first time was, what do you do when no one has the right comforter for you? Like, go on.
Wow. Comfort, guys. Just in case you know comfort.
Bath and Beyond.
Wow.
That
so
changes
fall,
things.
so I get how, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Just appreciate the gifts. Like I said earlier, like they bought you the wrong comforter. Just say, great, I have a full-size bed. This is a king size, more for me.
Oh my gosh.
I think the bottom line is a lot of people are people. That's the bottom line. I loved what Sarah said about it's like candy. You can't necessarily rely on people, like, because it's not going to satisfy. And I think that there is full truth to that. And I think it even gets more complicated when you bring it up or to like 10 people, and each person has a totally different thing to say. So you're like, what's the truth? And that gets even more confusing. And then you're like, but this person said this. And then if you really wanted to do something different, and then you got what this person said, it's a whole muck. So for me, it always goes back. Like I said, I'm a person of prayer. I'm a believer, and that's the bottom line. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, at the end of the day, I take it to prayer. I take it to prayer and I listen. I take it to prayer and I listen. I think that's because I don't have the answers. People around me don't necessarily have the answers. And, I need to hear from someone bigger. So there we have it.
I'm just going to add in some gumdrops, some goodies to like all the beautiful stuff you added. Piggybacking on, like, I love the self-love, and also just I think in this time there's going to be a shift for a lot of people, because I think with the distraction of life being on the go before COVID, and COVID halting things for a lot of people, it's forced people to be with their thoughts, to face the things that they've been running away from. So I think a lot of times when you have to realize that, as what has been said by so many of these ladies, that a lot of things have to come from within. When you realize you can't keep searching outside, I think you find that solace and that peace and that shift and that change when it's like you deal with those things from within that need to be dealt with. And I think also, being careful what you take in, words that you take in from people, the books you read, movies you watch, because that really like colors your perspective and just, colors your lens and how you feel. So sometimes we need to be smart in owning what we take in to like encourage us, to comfort us, to speak to us, because at the end of the day, we also have a responsibility for who we are, how we carry ourselves, because that's going to color the world around us, right? So anyways, ladies, this is another great Sunday. Join us, ladies and gentlemen, again next week, same time. Different faces, different people on the panel, different perspectives to come every week, and a different theme. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of this week. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, and December 6th. December 6th. There's an event. It's the heart spa thing. None of us are a part of it, but if you go to this page, to Betsy's page, Betsy Freeman Booking, there's going to be stuff that'll explain all about that.
Yep.
December 6th. Join us again next Sunday, and also look out for the wonderful event coming up on December 6th. Come back to Betsy's page for all the goodies on that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.